All right, welcome my friends to High Performance Habits Book Club Day 11. We are at the last part of the kind of the podcast. I think there's a summary after this. So we'll do one more day, probably Wednesday or something like that. Apologies for this one being a little bit further spread out. Had some things this last week that I had to take care of. But if we go into this last section here, really talks about the 3 C's of confidence, right? Which is confidence is really what ties all these high performance habits together. So I have my takeaways here, the performance prompts. So the 3 C's that he talks about in the book are develop competence, be congruent, and enjoy connecting. So underneath practice number 1 there, develop competence, I had a few quotes there that I really liked. High performers are learners, and their belief that they can learn what is necessary to win the future gives them as much confidence as their current skill set. And then the second quote that I liked out of here, high performers ponder the lessons from their wins. They give credit to themselves and allow their wins to integrate into their psyche and give them greater strength. So I find for myself that, I have this, I don't have it in front of me, I have a journal that I keep for like a book of wins, right? And so I track those on a daily basis, and even those, kind of seeing those little things, right? And then I can go back to that and read that every day and see just how far I've come. So within develop competence here, there's some performance prompts again, and so I answered these as the way that I would answer them. Again, I encourage you to write these down and kind of answer them the way that you would. So number 1, the competencies, knowledge, skills, abilities, or talents that I've worked hard to cultivate in my life include there's many, but the ones that come front to mind currently, influence, leadership, and mindset. On number 2, if I gave myself, and I got a typo there, if I gave myself credit for learning all of those things, I would start to feel more, obviously, competent and confident, right? That's what we're talking about in here. So number 3, something I've learned to do in the past few years that I've not given myself credit for is, and I had to think about this one, but I think that better control of my mind, my reaction to situations and stuff like that, right? And then an understanding of how that can influence others. And I think another thing that I think about here as how I'm being influenced as well, right? And to be more cognizant and aware of that situational awareness, right? I think a lot of times, I think the buzzword these days are the EQ. You're aware of your energies and stuff like that, and situations, right? And you have better control over that. So, number 4, I feel that I can handle a big challenge in my life right now because I am good at learning how to, and I thought about this one for a little bit, I think see the bigger picture and to share the vision that I have with others, which again goes towards influence, right? Number 5, a practice I'll begin doing every week to help me start feeling more confident is, and this is one that I've been actively focused on and working on, this habit is Sunday reflection and planning. And then same thing for like monthly and quarterly, creating those habits, right? Creating measurements for lead and lag indicators within my business, right? So basically focusing on those, the kind of the daily activities, those things that are really easy to do and just as easy not to do, right? Making sure that I'm measuring those up front, and then what is the result of those, right, on the back end? Am I getting what I would expect out of that, or do I need to tweak a little something, right? It kind of goes into this other book here that I'm reading, 12-Week Year, which I think I want to expand on that more and really dig into that next. So But anyways, I'll keep going here. So grab some water. Sorry about that. All right, practice number 2, be congruent. So, and some of the notes here or thoughts that I had as I was reading this and listening to this. Seek clarity on a daily basis and a weekly basis in order to align with who you want to be, right? And so we talk a lot about that, that first high performance habit, right, is to regularly seek clarity on a regular basis, right? Who is it that you want to be today? Performance prompts with that. So number 1, the person I really want to be in life could be described as, and I strive for this all the time, a giver, a connector, a leader, and someone who shares their answers. Okay, number 2 on the performance prompts, 3 things I could do each week to live more congruently with the vision for my life include, number 1, hosting live calls on mindset. Number 2, set goals for cultivating new relationships each day and each week. And then number 3 can be consistent with my daily schedule. And then number 4, I actually had an extra one here, outsource what can be done better by someone else. So things like growing Instagram account and stuff like that, other parts of my business that I could have someone else do, full time or whatever that might be. So, so that's that one. Number 3, the 3 things I should definitely stop doing in my life so I can live in greater congruence with my ideal image of myself are, number 1, Instagram growth again. It's something I hire a virtual assistant and have them deal with that. Number 2, anything else that could be outsourced, right? Not just time, but a matter of managing energy and all that sort of stuff, right? So that'll allow me to spend that and focus more on relationships and developing business partners and stuff like that. So and then number 3, giving mind share to those that are not going to put in the work, that don't share the same vision and stuff like that. So, all right. So on practice number 3, enjoy connecting. And so some notes that I just put here as I was listening to this. So be curious about others and enjoy learning from them. And then strive to make connections and think of ways that I can serve greatly. So, and then I have a quote here that I liked when I was listening to it. I think it's at the beginning of this section. So from Dale Carnegie, you can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get people interested in you. So I thought that was very interesting takeaway there. So, let me get down to the performance prompts for this section. Number 1, for enjoying connection. The main reason I want to become better with people is developing influence, right? Which is, as we kind of talked about before, that's everything, right? Number 2, I know I'll become more confident with people when I lead with adding value and sharing. Right, so things like what we're doing now in the book club here. So, number 3, number 3, to gain more confidence with people. From now on, when I talk with them, I will think to myself, and these are practices that I actually do now. So it's not something that I'm, starting, but I think it's always a continual process, right? But being fully present when I'm, talking to someone. Or creating these videos or anything like that, right? Listen without thinking. I thought that was kind of ironic, the way that it was worded here, right? Is, if you're gaining, confidence and trying to, influence and stuff like that, right? One of the bigger things is you're not thinking about what you're going to say or anything like that, right? You're fully present and listening to the words that they're actually saying, right? It's a skill that you have to work on and develop and be cognizant of. And then just genuinely being interested, right? And being interested in what's going on with their life and kind of what their thoughts are and stuff like that, and think of ways that that you might be able to serve, right? So those are kind of my takeaways for this section here. So there is one more section here that I think is just the summary. So I think I'll be able to get that out by Wednesday. I don't think this week will be too bad. And that'll be our last session, and then we'll close it out. So as a special thank you, I got a little surprise there that I want to put together for everyone that I was looking through that. So everybody that stuck it out through here and has gone through all the parts here. So you'll want to tune into that last part there. Got something for you that I think that'll help greatly. So yeah, I think that's all I got for now. So anyways, I hope that this serves you well. And as you read through this section of it, message me or whatever, what kind of notes, your takeaways as you read through these and these performance prompts. So, I hope that this has been really helpful and has served you well. So we'll see you soon, and we'll wrap up our book club here. So, all right, everybody, take care.